Welcome back then to the Repton Sports Centre for the final game today in the National Futsal Series Women's Tier 1. Here we have Hertfordshire Vipers taking on Birmingham WLV. Well, it's been a relatively difficult start to the season for both of these two teams. Birmingham did beat Sunderland University, but that result was wiped from the league standings after Sunderland pulled out of the Tier 1 division. So it's 6th against 7th as things stand. Birmingham very much will be looking for the 3 points today to see them increase their league standings position. Two teams are then out onto the court, Hertfordshire Vipers in the blue and Birmingham in the white and black. Let me run you through how the two teams line up then, starting with Hertfordshire. They have their goalkeeper Sasha Tucker between the 16 goal. Chian Suarez, Louise Mackay, who captains the side, Hannah Coote and Daisy Jenkins make up the rest of the starting lineup. On the substitutes bench, Lily Nellis, Neve Gray, Rebecca Scott, Becky Ingram, Charlotte Parrott, Rebecca Prow and Ellie Merkis. They are led by Mario Petruccio and Mary Pasiti. As for Birmingham then, Adriana Caboth, the Portuguese goalkeeper, continues in net. Dana Scott, Sarah Hazel, Alicia Miller, who captains the team today, and Donna Mulligan make up the rest of the starting lineup. Four substitute options, they are Marianne Lennon, Leah Grant, Daniela McDougall and Annie Highway. Vikla Hussain is the man in charge of his Birmingham team. The referees for this one are Paul Waitley and Magnus Rasmussen. On timekeeping duties is Matt Bruffel. So already today here at the Repton Sports Centre we have seen Derby beat Liverpool by 9 goals to 4. Bolton overcame Southampton Aztecs 6-1. Before that last game that we've just seen, the tightest of the three so far, London Helvetia falling to a 4-3 defeat against Hartbury. And that might prove to be a big result as well, and a big 3 points for Hartbury in the greater course and context of the season. But there's another 3 points up for grabs here. Hertfordshire Vipers looking for their first 3 in the women's Tier 1. How do you rate their chances then, Matt?
I think that Birmingham are in a completely false position because, as you say, they've had a result taken off them. And I think that they've probably had a really tough start to the season as well when you look at their other fixtures. So it's really hard to actually sit here and say that Vipers and Birmingham are the bottom two as it looks on paper, because we know the quality that's in this Birmingham team. Derby played Vipers in the Cup earlier on in the season. We'll play them again in a couple of weeks' time, and I think they've had a real tough start to life in Tier 1, and I think I see today being more of the same of that, because they are up against a really well-oiled, well-drilled outfit that I'm sure will be wanting to take 3 points back down the A38.
Yeah, you mentioned the difficult start to the season in terms of fixtures that Birmingham have had. Well, they lost on the opening day 4-2 to the reigning champions Bloomsbury, and it's a respectable scoreline. They then drew 1-1 with Helvetia, beat Sunderland University, as we've mentioned. That one has been wiped from the league standings, and then drew 2-2. There's a comeback point actually as well late on against Bolton. Here's Alicia Miller all the way across, and it's towed in. And it's Donna Mulligan with the game's first, and when it's taken all of what, just 40 seconds, Birmingham are ahead, 1-0.
And there you go, just like that. Alicia Miller doing what Alicia Miller does, right? Powering in behind, off that parallel pass. It's a really good ball from Sarah Hazel as well. And then there was one thing in her mind. She was finding that second post, and Mulligan was there in the right position at the right time to put her team 1-0 up. And already it looks like a mountain to climb for the Vipers, because we know when Birmingham get in front, they're a very, very tough team to break down.
Yeah, it's a third goal of the season for Donna Mulligan. And the starting 5 today as well as the pivot. Didn't take long for her to find the net. She's going to take this corner here as well. Taken back inside, footed goal bound by Sarah Hazel. Off target. Will be a goal clearance for us to restart when The ball is back with Sasha Tucker.
It's not the player you want to give the ball away to there, is it? Got left through one there, to be honest. But yeah, if you're going to give the ball away to anybody in this league, it isn't to Alicia Miller on transition.
Maybe an opportunity here for Hannah Coote. She really is the player that Vipers will turn to in front of goal and would want that opportunity to fall to their number 9, but Caboth in the Birmingham goal equal to the effort there.
Yeah, good player, really good player. They're in again though.
Round the corner here, Dana Scott. It's a good stop by Sasha Tucker. Another chance, which is that time set up by Scott.
I thought for a second there we were going to see almost like a scissor Sarah Hazel spectacular then. I've seen her score one of them before, and I think she thought about it, just decided to guide it in the end. She probably would have been better going for something like that. It's an ominous start, isn't it, for Birmingham? You can see already their intentions in this game. They want this game over and done with as quickly as possible. Playing with a pace and a purpose that I probably spoke about all the way through the last game in terms of how Helvetia should play. Really, really direct at times, Birmingham, but direct in a good way. Not direct as in they're going long and it's a little bit frustrating to watch. They're directing as they move the ball through the thirds really, really quickly, and they're in behind passing lines, and they're getting players into really dangerous areas, and quality players as well, like Alicia Miller, who you never want to be defending 1v1 against, I would say. And then they find themselves in this sort of area constantly. Just happy to move the ball around, happy to wait for those opportunities, and they'll force errors. Here we go.
Hazel here, the Birmingham number 4, and I think it's an own goal. It's tucked into the back of the net before reaching Mulligan that time. 2-0 already.
It's two very, very similar goals, isn't it? Similar sort of areas. This time Sarah Hazel finding that second post, but again, Mulligan right in the right place. And defender has no choice really but to try and get something on it, and it's a desperately unfortunate one, isn't it? Keeper had no chance. But already, Vipers they're in real serious trouble in this game, and it feels like it's going to be a long afternoon.
Yeah, Hannah Coote, it was the unfortunate player to turn past her own goalkeeper. Mulligan, you'd imagine, would have been on hand to tuck it in behind her, but for the defensive intervention anyhow. Now down the other way, this more promising for Vipers, but doesn't come to anything, and it will be a goal clearance. (2-0) to Birmingham with just over 2.5 minutes, 3.5 minutes played now.
Good goalkeeping, had to be out quickly, had to be alert. I think for Vipers here, I think for Mario and Mary, they'd just be asking them just to retain possession a little bit better now. So they're 2-0 down, they're on the back foot. Can they just retain that possession? Even if they're just for a little bit, they're just stemming the tide almost. And at the minute, it's all a little bit rushed, isn't it? And they're trying to play forwards too quickly, and the ball is being turned over, and Birmingham are just coming back again. And we know that they will be relentless, because that's their identity, is when they're on the front foot, they're relentless. That's throughout the club, and we see their men's team doing exceptionally well this season.
Good challenge to begin with there from the Hertfordshire Vipers captain Mackay, but it was an equally good challenge from the Birmingham recovering defender in Alicia Miller. Gray. Referee there thought about awarding the free kick by putting the whistle in the mouth, but opted against that in the end, and instead points for the Birmingham kick it. Opportunity for Caboth in possession, but it's not the pass that she was looking for. Great. And the pressure that time from Mulligan leading the Birmingham press. It's simply seen back to the goalkeeper by Dana Scott. Playing at the back of the court today in the fixed position, Dana Scott. Let's move forward now. Here's Miller. That will be a foul for the push on Rebecca Scott.
It's one of them where players always complain about these kind of challenges, but you have to sit there and sit here and say, in that situation, what are you thinking with making that challenge? Like, because quite clearly it's always going to be a foul. I do it as a coach sometimes when I hear a player complain about it. Very quickly, though, they're on to 2 fouls.
Yeah, it's 2 in very quick succession there against Birmingham. The second, unfortunate, the handball. Here's Miller.
She'll get there, we know she will.
Yeah, onto the end of it, and it's turned in as well. And I'm not quite sure who got the final touch. It may have been Mulligan, it may have been another own goal. Hopefully the replay will clear that up for us, but one thing's for certain, it's 3-0 to Birmingham.
And it's superb individual play from Alicia Miller, isn't it? She had more determination than anybody else on court to get to this loose ball, and then she had one thing in her mind. She knew Donna Mulligan would be there, and Mulligan, it's her touch, isn't it? It's a fantastic finish, and we've had 3 pretty much identical moves, 2 from one side, 1 from the other, and Birmingham 3-0 up. Cruise control.
Yeah, 3-0 up. Donna Mulligan could have had all 3. One was taken away from her with the own goal by Coop, but Mulligan with the other 2. Very much is cruise control in the ascendancy for Birmingham now. If any of the pre-match team talk for Hertfordshire Vipers was to try to stay in the game early on and keep the score at 0-0 for as long as possible, well, that went completely out the window inside the first minute.
I think now it's just about, for Vipers, I think they, as we touched on it earlier, they've found the step up really difficult, haven't they? They've really struggled to find a foothold in Tier 1, and week after week, it can be really disheartening. I think the most pleasing thing today is they've got a full bench. They look together. They're a nice club. They're a nice unit, and I think if they just have to keep those sort of standards and those sorts of levels together and keep trying to play, keep enjoying it, because part of playing the game is the enjoyment side of it. We touched on it earlier with what the Bolton manager Laura Tobin was saying, and I think it's really important that for them they just keep learning as much as they can and improving and inching towards those top teams week by week. I wonder, and it's really hard to say it because as a coach you always want to be successful, but I wonder if in hindsight they may have gone 1 too early in terms of the promotion, and just another season in Tier 2 may have helped them.
Highway they denied, and Dana Scott denied on the follow-up as well. It was nicely close to goal number 4 for Birmingham there. Annie Highway hasn't long been on court, the Birmingham number 15 who came on to replace Mulligan. She has the ball now.
Not bad understudy, is it?
Option to the left here, Hazel! And well, it's all too simple really for Birmingham in winning the ball back and then taking advantage of it and turning it into a goal. 4-0.
It's another sloppy one for Vipers, but it's good, really good from Annie Highway. Great work to win the ball back, and then superb awareness to realise Sarah Hazel was making that supporting run on the underlap. And it's a fantastic finish low to the goalkeeper's left. They're in again here.
Highway has the ball back again, edge of the penalty area too. Good block to begin with.
She's almost trying to be unselfish there when she probably should have shot.
Miller with her toe in to get it back, and it's still there for Alicia Miller. And the skipper gets in on the goal scoring act. It's 5 already.
This one is quickly running out of sight, isn't it, for Hertfordshire Vipers? Timeout called. Perhaps a chance to regroup. I think it would just be a case of them saying they're realising the level that they're at, I would imagine, and it's just a chance to try and do something differently. And we spoke about it earlier, maybe just maintain possession for a little bit, see whether they can build a little bit of a foothold. But I think Birmingham look relentless here, don't they? Look like they're moving the ball really quickly. They're playing with a real purpose and a real desire to go and score as many as they can. They will be hurting looking at that league table, because we're talking about a team that, not last season, but the season before, were the champions of the country. And okay, they've had a tough start, but they've lost games to teams that they would feel they should compete with, and they'll want to make up for that. It's a dangerous, dangerous side to be playing against.
Timeout minute complete then. Mario Patricia there with the tactics board, just trying to pass on as many messages as possible in that 60 seconds. Referee's going to bring it back for the restart again once the whistle is blown. 8 minutes played, and it's Hertfordshire Vipers 0, Birmingham WLV 5, and this is threatening to, well, really become ugly for Vipers as well if they're not careful. Scott, highway on the overlap, good ball across instead here to Miller, all the way back across in search of the initially overlapping player in Annie Highway, who then continued her run to the back stick, but just fired across too far ahead of her.
It's another fantastic flowing move though, isn't it? Left to right, right to left, whichever way they're going. Birmingham look free flowing, and they're really in the mood for this one.
Highway all the way across to Goss. Here's Charlotte Parrott. No route through. Birmingham can have it back. Highway trying to feed Scott. Just running out of room there though, Birmingham. Given away there and presented straight to Miller. Only a whisker wide.
As that pass was being played, Alicia Miller is already on the front foot, isn't she? She's already anticipating it. She epitomises this Birmingham first 10 minutes of this game for Birmingham, really, really on the front foot, looking to assert themselves on this game, and they've dominated, haven't they, so far? Vipers struggling to string more than 1 or 2 passes together. That's not a bad idea, though. It's all a little bit, when they do go forwards, it's a little bit hopeful, isn't it, rather than having any sort of clear direction to it.
Scott just took a heavy touch there at the crucial moment. That's presented the ball back to Vipers. But the effort from McKay straight to the goalkeeper. Hertfordshire ball. Out for the kick it again, right about the halfway line. Okay, finding the ball across here to Neve Gray. Utilising that wide area again. It has been a bit of a better period for Hertfordshire since the timeout. They are at least in the Birmingham half of the court now and asking some questions of the Birmingham defence. Taken short for Parrott. And it's fired in.
Well,
Charlotte Parrott, brilliant strike from the set piece. And Hertfordshire have themselves a goal.
out of nothing as well, by the way, but fair strike, nice little set piece, simple one, isn't it? You don't shoot, you don't score, and he certainly struck that well. Cabas perhaps will be disappointed to be beaten at a near post, but Vipers are on the score sheet.
Yeah, I think the Birmingham goalkeeper, you're right, will be disappointed there to have been beaten at that near post area. Vipers with the goal back after the timeout. You have to take the positives from that. Highway. All the way across, and Birmingham turn it in to restore the 5-goal lead. Marianne Lennon, the scorer that time, to tap into the empty net. Set up by Highway, finished by Lennon. It's another Birmingham goal.
Yeah, it's a fantastic goal, isn't it, as well? And just like that, Birmingham restore the 5-goal advantage. And you can only imagine there will be more. It's very similar goals, isn't it? Over and over again, finding that second post well. And interestingly, they've been able to get all of their big players pretty much off court here, haven't they? And have a little bit of a rest. And you see, you look at that bench now, you've got Miller, you've got Mulligan, you've got Hazel and Highway, all on the bench and able to get some time off court, because they will feel that this game is over. But the difference between this and what we saw probably earlier from Bolton is knowing Birmingham, even this team, this group of players on court are looking to impress, looking to earn minutes, so they're going to be on the front foot trying to build on this lead. Frightening prospect if you're following Hertfordshire Vipers. Oh, wide
All the
open.
way through, it's wide open, that middle area, and the player was completely free. It was Daniela McDougall, the Birmingham number 13, who had so much space.
She should score as well, shouldn't she? In that position there. Wait for the keeper to commit and make your decision afterwards. Almost didn't do anything really, but she'll be disappointed in herself. Again, it's all very hopeful. It's not, there's no purpose to that ball forwards.
What this situation, 5 goals up in the first half for Birmingham, has provided is an opportunity to bring 2 lesser experienced players onto court in Leah Grant and Daniela McDougall. Just too far ahead of Grant that time. Hannah Coots back on for Hertfordshire. It's going to McDougall, but runs through all the way behind. Long from Tucker. Here's Dana Scott. Gives the ball away. It wasn't collected though by Suarez. Sarah Hazel now back on for Birmingham with Dana Scott going off, and wow, that could have been an absolute calamity from the kick in. Goes behind for the corner in the end.
It'd been all their own doing as well, wouldn't it? You could probably argue that with that Vipers goal as well, really. Birmingham switched off a little bit, as good a strike as it is. And again, they're desperately lucky that that's not crept inside the post.
Birmingham not there happy with the ward of the corner. They felt it was through without a touch, but a bit sloppy for Birmingham at the back nonetheless, and it's brought about the corner, which Then saw the subsequent shot fired high.
She's a real standout, isn't she, for Hertfordshire Vipers? A real quality addition. You can see that what she brings in terms of her ability.
Gain there for Birmingham in a dangerous area once more. It's just become a little bit sloppy for them in the last couple of minutes. But yeah, definitely Matt Hannacoot, the standout performer for Hertfordshire Vipers, and you sense the more that they can get her involved in the game, then perhaps the more success that they'll be able to create from that as well.
I think the difficulty will be that from what we've seen of the Vipers so far this season, Coot is the one player who is probably ready at this moment in time to play at this level. And we've just watched Helvetia play with half a squad. We know Bloomsbury have a lot of options. How long before one of the bigger local clubs, without meaning any disrespect to Hertfordshire Vipers for what they do, but how long before one of those clubs comes sniffing for a player who quite clearly is ready to play at it and probably playing a below their level with the team that they currently play with. I don't know what her situation is in terms of football or how she wants to play, but she's certainly a player who could go a long way in the game. They need to try and, yes, today get her in the game, but two, also make sure that they keep hold of her, because she's some asset.
Here she is now. Loses the ball on that occasion. Closing it on the final 5 minutes of this first half. This is Rebecca Proud. Loses out to McDougall. Birmingham ball. This just the first of the two-day weekend in the National Futsal Series, of course. The men's Tier 1 games tomorrow. 4 fixtures. Right, an early start tomorrow morning with the first kick-off at 9:15. Very much looking forward to all of those 4 games too. And your side Derby in action again tomorrow, Matt. Looking forward to that game?
I am, yeah. So we'll be the 4th of the 4 games that run, so the last one of the day, but a really difficult task against an incredibly talented Manchester team. But it's one that we've earned the right to play at this level, and we're really enjoying it week in, week out. Okay, no one likes losing games. We had a difficult one last weekend, but it's an opportunity tomorrow to put performance in that can put that right, and we'll certainly be bang up for it. See what we can do. Hoping to have a big crowd in, so I'm sure we can hopefully put on a show for them. This game just settled right down, hasn't it now? Birmingham happy with their control in the game, perhaps. Starting to bring what I would call their first 4 back into court. I would imagine that they'll look to build on this lead with this 4 before half-time and just make sure that, if anything, this is the bare minimum they have going into the break.
This is Miller, as you say, Matt, back on now. Just trickles away from her there. Birmingham there with 2 in their first line of defence in Hazel and Miller, who were a little bit split around the halfway mark, but Hertfordshire being unable to keep hold of possession. He's with a direct ball forward there to Donna Mulligan. She was the player, of course, who made such an impact early on with 2 of the goals, and it could have been 3. Becky Ingram. 2 fouls so far in the half, incidentally, both of those against Birmingham. They came in very quick succession, didn't they? But nothing since then.
No, I think they just had a moment, didn't they, where they perhaps lapsed in concentration. There's a couple of fouls, but here we go.
Chance again here for Alicia Miller.
It's a great save.
Eyed though by the Hertfordshire Vipers goalkeeper. Hazel takes a deflection on its way through. Hazel helping it on its way, but couldn't find anybody that she wanted it to. Suarez. Collected again by Miller. Forward she goes again. Oh, it's against the upright. Against the post that time. Donna Mulligan, there's an opportunity to counter-attack. Good recovery.
It's fantastic work, isn't it?
Backtracking there, Mulligan, to get back and ensure that that 2v1 became a 2v2 as we look at her chance again on the replay.
It's really good defending to get in. Fortunate, maybe, but then the opposite side, Mulligan's defending. She's come from a very long way. Here they go again.
Hazel, it's Mulligan again. That's the goalkeeper with the ball back across the Sarah Hazel. Birmingham trying to walk the ball home. That time they couldn't. It's a miscontrol. Welly Ellis in conceding the kick in. Miller there with the setback, but on a completely different page to the rest of the teammates. I'm guessing they passed wrong that time.
Yeah, just they're trying different things, I think, aren't they? They're really comfortable with it. It's obviously a game where they knew they would, I believe they would have known they would be in this position. Just trying to play with a standard and a level that they will hope they can maintain throughout and build a big victory. Probably should be a few more on the board already, and I think it's ominous that we can see where the chances will come for an opportunity of more, can't we? It's really good recovery from Miller, who's been a little bit careless with passes and some of the decision making over the last couple of minutes, but what she will give you is all that heart and all that desire, and she'll work tirelessly to keep Birmingham in front in this one.
Highway collecting. Hazel against Hannah Coutinhout. Another misplaced pass, but it does seem as though then, unless the Vipers can score here, which did manage to get the shot away in an attempt to do so, it was comfortable for the goalkeeper. It seems as though Birmingham will have at least this 5-goal advantage going into half-time. Maybe another chance though. It was Hannah Coote in on goal. Just a little bit rushed, perhaps had more time than she realised.
Yeah, I was about to say exactly the same thing. I think she definitely did. Perhaps needs a call from a teammate or something, just to be able to know that she's got that time to set herself before shooting. Again, players will rush in those situations, and I think sometimes just be willing, realise you always have enough time to put your foot on the ball and steady yourself before shooting and make your decision making really, really clear. She's the biggest threat though, isn't she? Coots, she's somebody who clearly has some ability, clearly has the ability to score goals as well. Not sure that was what they intended.
Yeah, certainly not what the doctor ordered that time for Birmingham from the set piece, but really there hasn't been too much for them to worry about in this first half. And that's the end of it. 6-1 in favour of Birmingham then at half-time. A couple of goals in there for Donna Mulligan to get things started, an own goal as well, which could on another occasion have been turned in by Mulligan, but for the intervention of Hannah Coote to turn it past the goalkeeper. Goals in there too for Sarah Hazel, Alicia Miller and Marianne Lennon. That makes up the 6 for Birmingham at the midway point. There's the half-time score. It's Hertfordshire Vipers 1, Birmingham WLV 6. Let's show you the goals then from that first half. The aforementioned strikes and the Charlotte Parrott goal to get Hertfordshire back into the game as well. Let's show you the most important moments from that first half. So it all started so well for Birmingham and continued in this fashion too.
It's a lovely parallel pass, isn't it, to start that move off from Sarah Hazel. There we go, textbook one. Just feeding it down the line into the space behind the winger. Alicia Miller, it's not someone you want to be in a foot race with. And once she got into that position, she steadied herself. She played that ball to the second post, and Mulligan just had to get something on it, which is what she did. This one, slightly different, but it's Hazel in that position. And Mulligan was there again, and it's Hannah Coote, actually, isn't it, who sews it into her own goal, but really unfortunate for her because she has to get something on it because she knows the Birmingham player is behind her. And then here, this is about Alicia Miller's determination. Then the quality to find Mulligan. But after almost giving the ball away, it was her who chased it probably, what, 20, 30 metres to pick up the loose pass. And you could see the delight on her face to score that goal.
Annie Highway here for Birmingham, who was at that point freshly onto court as well. It's an opportunity for Dana Scott, who wasn't one of the first half scorers, but the chances continue to flow for Birmingham. And again, this goal coming after Hertfordshire gave the ball away inside their own half of the court. And Sarah Hazel with the finish, just towed past the goalkeeper that time. Composed in front of goal. Slotted away into the bottom corner. That was for 4. It's a bit of a recurring theme in these goals here that we see in Hertfordshire giving the ball away in their defensive third at times, not even half of the court, and we've seen it again on this occasion with Miller, the player who the goal will go down to.
They've really struggled with Birmingham's press, haven't they? When Birmingham have locked on and gone player for player and really pressed hard, they've struggled. This though was their probably one bright moment. Simple set piece, but it's a strike, and yeah, Kibosh will feel she should save it, but the Vipers won't be worried. They've got a goal on the board.
Yeah, simple set piece with the strike there from the right peg of Charlotte Parrott, but that's the Birmingham first half clean sheet gone. Still seemed as though Birmingham were always in control though. At that point, 5-1. And there's the goal for 6. Marianne Lennon, who just come on off the substitute bench at that point actually. On hand to tap home at the second post, and it's Annie Highway. They're the provider of the assist.
That probably should have been 7. But for some really last-ditch defending, Birmingham fully in control, will be really happy. We'll be hoping they can get this one over as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Birmingham fully in control at half-time then. 5 goals to the good. 6-1 is the score at the midway point, and we still have 20 minutes of action to bring to you. Welcome back then for the final time today to the Repton Sports Centre here in Derby. Birmingham WLV very much well and truly in control at half-time against the bottom of the women's Tier 1 side, Hertfordshire Vipers. 6-1 the half-time score. Donna Mulligan there, the player you can see on screen at the moment with 2 of them. An own goal, Sarah Hazel, Alicia Miller and Marianne Lennon were the other scorers. Much of what this is now for Birmingham in the second half then, Matt, about maintaining standards for Birmingham, you have to feel.
Yeah, maintaining standards, building on a really impressive first half, and probably they will feel make a bit of a statement as well, because as I said, I think they'll feel that they're in an unfortunate position. They'll be disappointed that they've lost some big games early on, and they'll want to put that right. And I think this is the first one of those opportunities, right, to really go out and set the record straight and show their quality, and that they're still going to be a force this season, which I truly believe they will. I know the work that Iclac's done, especially with this team, and there's some incredible players in there, isn't there, and some of the very best that we have on offer in the NFS are on show in this Birmingham team. So that is exactly what it will be about. Just maintain those standards, keep playing the same way, and hopefully make this as difficult an afternoon from their point of view as possible for Hertfordshire Vipers.
Mulligan sets that one back there towards Annie Highway. Both Mulligan and Highway on court now. Both regularly pivot role players as well. There's another for Birmingham. And it's Alicia Miller who celebrates again, the Birmingham captain. Right at the start of this second half, it's taken less than a minute since the restart, and it's 7-1.
Yeah, it's quality finish, isn't it? Nice little give and go from Miller across the court. It's a clever run. She just took the goal really well. Took her in goal, probably a little bit disappointed, but let's give Alicia the quality.
Oh, Highway with the ball across, and there's an apology from the referee, and well, you might have seen a few more complaints if it was a tighter game. I think the referee doesn't need telling, though, that the advantage there should have been played.
He doesn't, but Paul Waitley, as a referee, that is one of his biggest weaknesses, is in those moments just has to read that that moment is happening, has to understand that next phase of play could possibly happen. Quite clearly here, Annie Highways rode that challenge. Yes, it's a foul, but just needs to give it a second and let the game flow. And that can be those moments that really frustrate players. Just a little bit of lack of awareness, maybe.
Yep, and it's perhaps worse than some of the other instances, and we've seen the same problem with the referees pulling up for a free kick instead of the advantage, because that actually ended up in a Birmingham goal, and I don't think there was anything that the Vipers defence could have done about it to prevent it either. So really should be 8, but for the award of the free kick that didn't come to anything. Stays at 7-1. We saw earlier today a refereeing error that didn't really matter in the end, as Bolton won 6-1 anyhow over Southampton. They should have had a penalty in that game. I'm sure the same will be the case here for Birmingham. Very much still in cruise control.
Yeah, and I think in both cases, let's be honest, referees have a split second to make that decision. It's a difficult job, but I think you just ask for, in those moments, especially, I actually think that one is more frustrating for a coach and a player than the one in the Bolton game earlier, because they have a split second to make a judgment call right on where that challenge has happened. And okay, they may have got that wrong, but it's led to nothing, and no players complained either, which I think probably helped the situation, you know. Whereas in that situation there, for me, as an experienced referee that Paul is, who's been at the top of the NFS for a while, probably since its inception, just needs to have a better understanding of the game to know that in that moment, if he takes a breath rather than blowing his whistle, you get the advantage, and that leads to a goal. And I think, okay, we're 7-1 up, so we're chewing fat almost over something that doesn't really matter, but
the point is, it could have mattered, couldn't it, in a different game. So it's as you say, in terms of referee development as well in the National Football Series. There's always room for improvement for players, for coaches, for referees, for everybody involved.
It's good defending, really good defending.
Hertfordshire Vipers will look for improvement in the second half as well, and something to take the positives from moving forward if they can get themselves a couple of goals maybe in the second half, or keep Birmingham more at bay in the second period. Just anything that they can try to build from them moving forward into games against, again, high-level, top-quality opposition, because the games continue to come thick and fast for them. It's not going to get any easier in the women's top flight either.
And they actually, we outlined it earlier on in the broadcast, but we played them in the NFS Cup as well. They've had a really difficult NFS Cup draw as well, because they drew with they were drawn with us, Bedford and Loughborough students, and Loughborough have a little bit of a mixed bag over what team they can field depending on what students are available to them, and then they were actually drawn with the two Tier 2 runners-up from last season in Derby and Bedford, who I think have both strengthened, both done really well, and group of death, let's say, on top of playing Tier 1 where confidence is probably a little bit short. Has been a really, really difficult start to the season for them, and something I'm sure they'll be hoping that they can learn from, and learn from quickly.
Definite foul there, and the yellow card is shown the way of Annie Highway too. Deemed a deliberate push. Probably was. Yellow card for Highway. On each of the second half fouls. Two in total in the second period. We only saw 3 in the first half in its entirety. Miller just lost her footing, but regains it now.
Risky one from Dana Scott there, wasn't it? They've got away with that. They've really got away with that, because that was a loose pass. Not playing sensibly, maybe. You know it, Clack, as well as I do. In that situation, he'd have been really frustrated had that led to something. Just have to make sure they keep making the right decisions. Just perhaps decision making and those standards starting to drop a little bit, and I get it. You're looking with 15 minutes to go, they're 7-1 up, the game is won, isn't it? So it's really hard to maintain that, but I think it's important that they do. And I think that's you can hear that from the court side. Like very, very vocal. But this is all about momentum that they can take into future games, isn't it? Because they'll have got a run of games now, 1 a week pretty much up to Christmas, when we break for Christmas, which is the weekend of the 9th and 10th. And it's a great opportunity for them to build some momentum and pull themselves up the league. Good effort, really good save.
Yeah, the goalkeeper there was scrambling across the face of goal. Good double stop as well at the second time of asking, managed to intervene again. Daisy Jenkins denied.
Yeah, really good save there, and then also defensively, Birmingham switched on really quickly. First Scott, then Miller, getting important blocks in as well.
Here's Dana Scott now, only had it for a moment. Vipers tried to counter, but Scott recovers. Next couple of games for Birmingham, we'll see them face Project Futsal Liverpool in the Cup before then. Playing hosts to Hartbury the following weekend. Back in the league, that one. Saw Hartbury win earlier today, 4-3 against London Helvetia. That Birmingham-Hartbury game may prove to be another big one in the race for the top 4 come the end of the season. They're all big games.
What it's like at this level, isn't it? It's a small league, so great. Most of the games that you play become important ones, and yeah, for Birmingham it's about getting points on the board. Hartbury obviously built that little bit of a gap, and they'll be wanting to maintain that.
There's Dana Scott travelling forwards, held up well though by Jenkins. Highway past the defender with ease, and still Highway goes on. It's cleared off the line. Really well defended in the end, but the initial defending was, well, far too few and far between. Good goal line clearance though to keep the scoreline down. Back behind Sasha Tucker in the Vipers goal. Past one, past two, past three there really. Annie Highway, but not past the fourth, who was back on the line to clear away. Referee there just ensuring that the 5 metres are afforded the Birmingham kick taker. Mentioned the next couple of fixtures for Birmingham. Well, the Vipers, they next faced Bedford in the cup before then playing Bolton, who earlier today with their victory moved top of the league.
I think they've got Derby after the Bolton game as well, so really difficult run of 3 games for them. The run up to Christmas, so they've got to come back to Repton in a few weeks' time.
Oh, the deflection nearly ends up in another own goal.
So, yeah, it doesn't get any easier for them. They've just got to, in these situations, it's really difficult for teams when you're losing games. These situations, you just have to try and take what you can from it, and it's a great learning exercise, great opportunity to continue to develop. And look, Mario, Mary, Mark Pacitti are all really good futsal people. They've been in and around the game for a while, and they're people who I know will continue to work hard, continue to work tirelessly to improve this club. And you can see they've got a dedicated group of girls. I'm sure will continue to turn up, continue to be here, continue to listen and learn. That bodes well, doesn't it? It bodes well for where they might be in the future. I do just feel that perhaps, in hindsight, if they could take that moment to reflect, they would feel that maybe got promoted a season too early for them, and another season in Tier 2 might have just given them a little bit extra experience to be ready for this level that they're now playing, especially with the format of the Cup now, where you can actually experience playing against some Tier 1 teams as well.
Yeah, well, it's certainly not for a lack of effort that Vipers find themselves in the position that they do. Just found it really difficult to make the step up in quality. Still 12 minutes to play to round off today's games. Still time, I'm sure Birmingham will feel look to have more goals as well. It was 6-1 at half-time, just 7 now. Relatively, in comparison to the first half, Hertfordshire have dealt better with the Birmingham on-court quality and threats in the second period. Dana Scott. Two Scots in the lineup today. Dana Scott not to be confused with the Hertfordshire number 5, Rebecca Scott. Here's the Birmingham number 5, Miller, who has seen so much of the ball, and she's away again here, accelerating down wide right across the face of goal. Again, another piece of individual brilliance from Miller. Nearly the 8th.
It's another trademark Alicia Miller run, isn't it, as well? And so close.
Loves that wide right area, doesn't she, on that right wing, Alicia Miller.
And it doesn't matter where she starts on court either. She seems to find herself in that position. So, yeah, she at every run she makes forward with the ball, she seems to travel into that area. And how many times have we seen her in that position, creating opportunities like the one she just created? Really impressed by Birmingham here. I think, okay, game's gone a little bit flat now and the game's done, but I'm sure Iklak will be really pleased with what he's seeing. He's so much control over this game, and they've managed to use their full squad as well, which I think is really useful exercise for him today. So. This game now has a very typical fourth game of an NFS match day feel about it, doesn't it? Where you come into the end of a long day, and as you can see, a lot of the spectators and things have disappeared for the day, and it can be quite tough to go on the fourth game. We're hoping tomorrow we can make it totally different, because being the home team and being the fourth game, we want to treat it like a main event, and we know that there's obviously the TNT main game on before us, but hopefully that creates a real nice buzz about the afternoon. But it's a real challenge sometimes to come in and play fourth game out of 4, I think. So.
Still a quarter of the game left. Hazel, here's Lennon.
Just be a little bit more positive there for Lennon. I think if she can take that in a stride and first touch be forwards rather than stopping, it's a really good goal scoring opportunity for her there. Great work from Hazel to crater that.
McKay has given the ball away. Here's McDougall. It is, and both teams will have known for a while now that it's very much just a case of the finishing scoreline, and just undetermined to play. There's plenty of time for more goals, but maybe in one sense that relieves any pressure on the Hertfordshire Vipers side. It'd be nice to see them play with just a little bit more freedom and perhaps just threaten the Birmingham goal more often in the second half. If they can possibly get themselves a second half goal, then that might breed a little bit of confidence.
Quick call that, wasn't it? Good referee. Slow things back down. Don't allow anything. Yeah. As you were saying, for Vipers, I think if they could get something out of this half, a goal or something, just gives them something to work on. They've quite obviously the game was over, right? And everybody knew that, and you can see that with how it's probably been approached. But yeah, they will know that they've got things to work on, and I'm sure they'd be over the moon if they could just get a goal or a second goal, a second or a third goal in this, and just really try and create some opportunities. Won't score past Kabah from there though.
Yeah, Walker down as a shot on target, but as you say, not going to beat the goalkeeper with an effort from that sort of distance like that. And taking the kick in. Hazel with the final touch.
Really disciplined defending as well from Birmingham. Not wanting to rest, are they? Not wanting to sort of drop off, and like with Coot there, just Hazel and Scott just seeing the ball out of play, happy to reset, happy to rebuild. Really comes to nothing.
Roth dishing that one long, but wasn't controlled by Dana Scott. New addition to the Birmingham squad this season.
She's a good player. She's a really good player. She's been a good addition, I think, and has done really fit in well to what they what they're trying to do. He does well with that, doesn't he? He seems to pick up a player here or there and just keeps turning this squad over. I think if you were asking him, honestly, I think this is the squad that he sees as a little bit of a flagship of his club now, and one that won the league title a couple of years ago. They would be hoping that they could get back to that sort of level and challenge the likes of Bloomsbury and Bolton again this season. I think they've certainly shown enough here today that you feel that they could.
Here's Scott. Return ball back across. They're looking to add another, but it's a miscue on the attempted strike from Leah Grant.
Not what you want on TV, on live TV, is it? But
given away there, and that's not what Birmingham wanted either. Coup denied by Caboth.
They're the kind of openings, aren't they, that we were talking about. Make one of them count. Give yourself something that to take away from it. Caboth recovered well.
Short from the Birmingham goalkeeper that time. Miller.
On the left this time.
Advancing forwards again. I was just about to say exactly that, Matt. Here's Dana Scott still. Blocks away the goalkeeper's out of the penalty area. That's not a nice challenge. It's the goalkeeper who's stayed down at the moment, but well, it was a late lunge, wasn't it, outside the penalty area. Sasha Tucker has stayed down here.
Yeah, rash one. Rash challenge. Ball was gone, wasn't it? But she'd made the decision very early that she was going to challenge for it.
Yeah, and no questions really can be asked about the award of the yellow card.
It's a good area. What can Birmingham work from here? They'll be certainly looking to put a shot on target, I'd imagine, whether it's Scott or whether it's direct from Miller. I think it's probably a little bit wide to be direct from Miller. Interesting that Marianne Lennon, second post, could be an option as well. See what they've got. She looks like she's going to strike this left-footed.
Yeah, it seems like the obvious option from the setup. It perhaps wouldn't have been the obvious option from where the free kick was given, but Miller standing behind this and will strike it left-footed. It was, I think, evident in the end that it was a weak foot effort, but it was, I suppose, when you're 7-1 up, you can try things like that out. So there's an opportunity down the other end, and Caboth has to make the save and does.
It was really good from Mackay as well, driving that ball forward into a nice area, and yeah, in the end, composed, cut inside Alicia Miller, and Caboth had to make the save, didn't she? That she did.
To make that save too, but can't make the follow-up stop. And Hertfordshire Vipers do indeed get their second half goal. It's their second goal of the game. It's Xian Suarez who tucks it away.
Yeah, they'll be pleased with that one as well. She's had a couple of efforts, really good save off the first one, but was on hand to follow up. Really pleasing one for them, I would imagine. There's just over 6 minutes left. It's important. It's just a foothold. We've spoke about it, haven't we? It'll be nice for them to get a foothold in this game, and that's what they have done. Birmingham just reset, just turn that screw again. Tell you what, Vipers will feel just heard from their bench then a little bit. It's amazing what a goal can do. Like, the game's lost, but a little bit of belief is never a bad thing, right? So
yeah, it can go a long way at times, just that shift in mentality, because whilst one team gain from scoring, the other team feel on the back foot as well. So when you get that landslide of momentum change, it can sometimes really change the following minutes in a game after a goal. Remember, it was 6-1 to Birmingham at half-time, so just the 2 goals in the second half. As we see the replay again, that's one apiece in isolation in the second half. Again, another positive factor for Vipers to take away with them.
yeah, they've done well, even there. Really good pressure, forced an error, forced the turnover, and now there's an opportunity for them to perhaps build and see whether they can build another attack. Birmingham look quite content just to drop off. Wait for those kind of opportunities to step in on a loose touch or a loose pass.
Miller held up that time. Which the way of Grant. No route through to goal on that occasion. A couple more Birmingham changes there. It's a couple of the big guns coming back on. 4-second count rightly penalised as Birmingham made those changes. Referee began the 4-second count as he's entitled to do. The ball was there for the kicking to be taken. No Birmingham player really went to initiate the taking of the kicking.
I think that was it. It's because they tried to make a couple of changes, and the two players who were on court made no offer.
There's Highway. Into the final 5 minutes now. Final 5 minutes of action to round off today's proceedings. Highway steps onto it again. Mulligan. Across the line. Seems to be a moving ball. A bit of kicking over turn. Just a couple of unforced errors from Birmingham in the last minute or two.
He's probably come a little bit before then as well, but yeah, interesting at what this kind of position does to you mentally. The psychological side of winning a game quite comfortably can be quite a challenge, can't it, to maintain them standards, and I think that's what we've seen. They'll still be really pleased with the day, but as you touched on, Vipers will be really happy because at the moment 1-1 second half, right? So something to take. It's a positive that they can build on, and certainly something you stay with. We played with our men's team, played Bloomsbury earlier in the season, and were 5-0 down at half time, and ended up losing the game 7-2. And really big positive that you can take out of it is you drew the second half, and I think it's important that when you're making that step up, you take whatever positives you can and you spin it the way you need to spin it to benefit your team.
One, two.
Vipers with the ball. McKay. To Coote and back to McKay. Gets us going again. Long throw out here to Mulligan.
Oh, what a goal.
It's a brilliant finish to complete the hat-trick for Donna Mulligan. An absolute rifle. Kaboff will get the assist. Mulligan with her third goal. What a finish.
It's a fantastic strike, isn't it? And sometimes the simple ones are the best, right? Really good distribution from Kaboss in goal. And then, yeah, what a finish that is, and what a way to complete your hat-trick. Restoring that 7-goal lead.
Highway on the turn, and there might be another here for Mulligan. There is again. It's a fourth for Donna Mulligan now. And Birmingham at number 9.
And again, it's real quality from Annie Highway to spin her marker and then to look for that second post rather than shooting. The composure that she's shown is fantastic. And Mulligan, as we've seen so often, in the right place at the right time.
Mulligan again, denied by the goalkeeper that time. It's a bit of an interesting role that Donna Mulligan has in the Birmingham team because she very much seems to pop up with goals at times when Birmingham need them. Okay, of course the game's won here, but thinking back to games last season as well, she came up with a few big goals for Birmingham. always seems to just be in the right place at the right time in being able to be on hand to convert. And well, she's prolific when in front of goal too. Probably what it comes down to really in terms of the quality in front of goal of the finishes, like the one that we just saw with the rocket past the goalkeeper and the goal to make it 8-2 before she then added the 9th as well.
Yeah, really good finisher. Goes a long way, doesn't it? At any level, if you can finish, it's a skill that can't be taught. And if you're a natural finisher, it adds sloppy, really sloppy from any highway.
Mella with the recovery challenge. The referee
Captain's bailed her out there.
With it. Yeah, it was Highway who gave the ball away to begin with. I think you alluded to it earlier on in today's broadcast, actually, Matt, about the women's tier 1 and the opportunities that sometimes aren't taken in front of goal, those big chances that aren't taken, and needing to really increase the emphasis on having to take those chances. And Donna Mulligan's a perfect example of that for Birmingham in terms of taking chances in front of goal and being clinical when the opportunities do come her way.
Sometimes that's all you need, right? Is in these situations, is someone who can put the ball in the back of the net, because ultimately, if you think about the games across the course of the day, so you go back to the Derby game this morning, and the difference between the two sides for me was the fact that we had Ella Brennan, who when it came to the crunch has popped up and scored goals when we really needed an amazingly talented young player who's only going to get better, by the way.
All the way across,
Great
and
finish.
Hertfordshire score.
And they deserve it. They do deserve the goals that they've got this second half. They've played, they've kept their heads up, they've kept going, they've kept working hard. And it's a fantastic goal, fantastic team goal, isn't it, that they'll be really pleased with. That'll feel good for the coaches. I'm sure at this time of night, on a Saturday, thinking they don't want to be on the wrong end of a hiding, and those kind of moments have to be plus points. But yeah, if you go back to the point I was making, you've seen goal scorers across the course of the day. Ella Brannan for Derby, Kirsty Corral, Laura Tobin have effectively won the game for Bolton. You've then had Jade Grove wins the game for Hartbury with some real quality. And then in this one, we've seen Donna Mulligan show you exactly what she adds to this Birmingham team.
Confirmation of that Hertfordshire Vipers goal scorer, Neve Gray, the player to get the all-important touch. It was a Hannah Coote assist, and Gray with the goal. Here's McDougall. Hazel. Oh, against both posts, I think. Back to McDougall. It's there for Mulligan again. Had to improvise that time.
Improvising, weak foot. I thought she was going to make contact with the first one. You look at this, where Hazel's cross shot here, she's inches away, and that would have summed up her game. She's just in the right areas, isn't she? Like natural instinct to be there. I'm not really sure of what her background is. She's obviously played football. You can see that she's played football and probably played at a level, as a number of these Birmingham players have. Really talented.
Long from Kaboth as we move into the final 30 seconds before this 3 points for Birmingham will be confirmed. Nice footwork away from the first defender. Cleared away though by Anisha Miller. Jenkins. Vipers looking to add another to their tally. Not too far away from doing so. The run of Hannah Coote.
Well, they've created some nice chances, haven't they? And I'm sure Mary and Mario, that's what they'll be trying to build. Cameraman needs to be bringing them down.
Yeah, and that's the signal ultimately for the end of this contest and the end of all 4 games today here at the Repton Sports Centre as well. It's a routine victory really, in truth, for Birmingham. Hertfordshire improved in that second half, but 9-3 the final score in favour of Birmingham, and Donna Mulligan right at the heart of it for Iqbal Hussein's side. Let's show you the goals from the second half. Remember, it was 6-1 to Birmingham at half-time. Alicia Miller adding goal number 7. That was inside the first minute after the restart to make it 7-1. She had a really good game as well, Alicia Miller, as she so often seems to have really, in causing opposition teams problems. Prodded home for Hertfordshire's second. That was Shian Suarez with the Hertfordshire goal.
It's a finish that gets better every time you look at it as well, because she's gone left-footed off the first one and then had to readjust her feet and keep that down off the second. So really impressive. That is the goal of the game. They're probably up there with, I'll let you judge because you've seen all 4. I have seen all 4, but from a different set of eyes. But yeah, certainly in the 3 games I've watched, that's the goal of the day for me. Just simple one, long ball, what a finish, emphatic finish right into the top corner. Keeper has no chance.
Yeah, I think Brennan might have something to say about that being the goal of the day after this morning, but yeah.
I'm sure she will.
Brilliant strikes, and Donna Mulligan there with another goal as well, that one just towing it over the line. But again, right place, right time. Highway, the creator of that one, actually misfired to begin with, but the defender it was who ended up in the back of the net, and so did the ball at the end of it all. And there was still time for Hertfordshire to have their third 2, which will be a positive for them to take away as well. The fact that they have managed to score 3 goals today against a side of Birmingham's quality, in a game where they've struggled in the defensive aspect, they have scored 3 goals. Maybe it's a sign for the coaching team that it's the defensive side of things that needs tightening up more so than the attacking sense moving forwards in the remaining